entertainmentbuddha.com.
Welcome back to a hopefully brand new. I mean, that's at least our plan. Our plan is always to talk about new stuff on the episodes of Star Wars Time, but you never know, because Nick and I, we kind of we float in between the random and the tangential shit left and right. That's just how we do it. But that's also why you should like us and subscribe and always be ready for the latest episode of The Time.
Yeah, I mean,
because we're here to bring you the latest news in the Star Wars universe, right?
We make a lot of hyperspace jumps in this podcast. You know,
it's all over. I mean, dude, it's all you had to do is listen to last week, where I'll go on record and say I definitely was out of form and definitely underperformed and made Nick do most of the heavy lifting. But that's just what happens sometimes after you've been off for a few weeks and you drank too much.
Yeah, shaking the cobwebs off. You know, you're coming back from a pretty dope vacation, so now you're back. You know, you're attuned to the Force.
I'm ready. Yes, I am. I'm here. I'm doing my humana. I'm tuned back in, and I'm ready to bullshit about this fucking galaxy that's so far, far away.
And the good thing about this week is this is the first week where we're full force. Episode 9, like we're all in.
You know, dude, we talked about it, and I kind of threw it out there too. We knew this was coming.
Oh,
I mean, it was inevitable, and this week was just the beginning. I mean, we have two pretty big set pick leaks to talk about for episode 9, as well as other items involving, you know, when the filming's going to finish, which is curious because when we tell you the date, you're going to be like, well, shit, they don't have much time to do the digital, but hey, whatever. As well as some rumors getting busted on some of the new characters, as well as rumors about the return of some characters that we may see. So, as Nick said, it's on, and I knew it was coming. Once they started rolling the cameras, I knew the episode 9 goodness was just going to start flowing left and right.
Oh yeah, I mean this is you know the last movie of the Skywalker saga. So as soon as Principal kicked off, you know, we were going to start getting, you know, set pics. We're going to start getting some leaked stories, some possible scenes in the movies talking about that. And then of course, I mean we even have some human interest pieces. We'll put it that way. You know. Revolving around specific actors or actresses for the franchise. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening right now, and you know, I'm happy to see that JJ and the team are really kind of moving things along. We're less than a month into filming, and I mean, we, like you said, Matt, we have some legit, really fucking good looking set pics here that, you know, can garner a lot of speculation. So
tons.
Yeah.
And that's our business. So, I mean, we're going to save those for last because there are other things we want to talk about that hopefully we can get through quickly because, I mean, definitely the concrete 9 stuff is what Nick and I are going to laser focus on moving forward. And if we don't get it, we'll make shit up. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's just how we roll. So, let's get into it, my friend. So the first thing we want to talk about, loosely ties into 9, only because the character's going to be in 9. We know it's confirmed, but a story came out this week about Kelly Marie Tran, where she finally publicly spoke out but she finally explained why she dropped out of social media a few months ago. And in the end, she summed it up and pretty much said that it wasn't the words of the haters, it was that she herself started to believe it, and, you know, just kind of took her down a dark path where, you know, she's like, my whole life I've kind of had to not be myself because I'm not white and yada, yada, yada. She revealed that her real name isn't even Kelly, it's Loanne. or Loan. I mean, who knows how it's ultimately pronounced, but I mean, Nick, it kind of goes back to what we had to focus on in the spring and early summer, just all the fucking bullshit that kind of sprung out of episode 8 and how people just have kind of oddly tied it into racial and, misogyny type of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just weird.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really nice to see her come back in this way. I mean, she could have just, crept back on the social media and not made a big deal about it, but for her to come out and really kind of explain her mindset and
I mean, she did an op-ed in the Times.
in the New York Times.
This is coming from.
Yeah, in the New York Times, she wrote a lengthy, like a pretty long piece on it, and in that piece, she goes into, her growing up as a Vietnamese American and like having to deal with that stigma. Like you said, her real name is not Kelly, so she grew up with the name Loan. It's Loan. It's spelled like Loan. I mean, it's probably said Loan or something like that.
I bet it's Loan.
Loan, yeah. So she goes into some stories. She talks about a time when she was dating a white kid and she was out to eat with their family and this,
horrible.
Yeah, I mean, this is
horrible.
It's really fucked up. And the waitress, commented after she ordered her meal, said, "Oh my gosh, you speak such good English. It's so nice that you guys have taken in an exchange student." Like, shit like that is so
That's America,
fucking
my friends.
crazy.
Like, if you don't understand that at this point, I mean...
Yeah, and I mean...
You need more cultured because you live in a bubble.
Yeah, and if you listen to that story and you think, well, that's not so bad. I mean, nobody knows where anybody comes from. But like the fact that the first thing that somebody thinks about you is that you have to be from a different country or that you can't speak good English because you're just of a different race.
Oh, dude.
Or a different nationality.
In the end, and this may get me in trouble. In the end, if you are a white person in America, especially a white male, you have zero grounds to ever complain about being discriminated against or being treated differently. I mean, you're insane.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of marginalized groups within this country, and
you're insane. I mean, you are insane.
White males is probably one of the least marginalized groups in the country. I mean, I know there's a lot going on.
I mean, there's a big movement out there that runs on that platform.
Yeah,
now.
that the white male.
I mean, white people, white men in general,
are being suppressed,
are being discriminated against. Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous, but the point of this story is to show that Kelly is now back in the fold. She's here and she's standing. She's not going to let the people who took her down before do it again. Like she realized that she can't let the words of a few trolls make her think less of herself. And this is what she says towards the end of the piece. She says, "I'm the first woman of color to have a leading role in Star Wars movie." That's true, 100% true. I mean, if you think about all the other Star Wars movies, there were no women of color at all. I mean, you could say,
dude, there's hardly any women.
Yeah, I mean, straight up. So no women of color. She's the first. She's the first Asian woman to appear on the cover of Vanity Fair. Another massive achievement. Like, first time, first time for that huge magazine to have an Asian woman on the cover.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
her.
dude, I didn't get any of the shit that people had with her. I mean, it made zero sense to me.
No.
I mean, a lot of the hate for TLJ doesn't make sense to me, but like the hate you experience, I get it. The hate with her character, I mean, it doesn't even resonate with me. I don't even know where people derive that from outside of just not liking women or people that aren't white. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's not like her character was anything like... There's no grounds to say that her character is like the worst character that's ever been in Star Wars. Let's get over that. And like this idea that her character had no purpose in the movie at all, again, is just groundless. Like there's no way that you can say that if you had actually watched the movie. So I mean, it's just people's problem with her probably does stem from either there's two things here. Either, like you said, it's just straight racism, or it's the fact that they just had a problem with the movie in general and they were trying to pin it on somebody. And the easiest person to pin it on.
I also, I mean, I don't want to say it's all the racist stuff because I don't think a lot of it is. I think there's a faction also that believe that she tarnished the character of Finn.
Yeah, that's like. So there's a lot of people out there.
I think that's honestly the main movement against her.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there who have such an issue with the whole Finn, Rose arc that they're just rebelling against both people. And I mean,
and it's another one where I mean, I'll agree. Canto Bight probably went on longer than it should have, but there are people out there that think that it was a complete waste of time, where I'm just going, huh?
Yeah. I mean, there was a purpose to it.
They went there for a purpose. There was a purpose.
Yeah, I mean, you can say what you want. Yeah, I mean, like, well, was Canto Bight as close as you can get to the prequels in the new movies? Yeah, probably. I mean, there were a lot of scenes in there that were corny as fuck and, like, No,
I wouldn't even say a lot. I mean, it was just the fucking chase.
Yeah, the chase scene. I mean, and that was that was probably longer than it should have been. And did they need it?
And they cut a bunch from it, thank Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, so, because I can remember watching the deleted scenes, and there was a lot that didn't even go through full post,
dude. Dude, it was gonna be like fucking 12, 15 minutes long.
Yeah, it was crazy. So that was definitely not needed. I mean, but the rest of it, I mean, like, there was essential plot points there. Picking up DJ, I mean, that was...
It just, I mean, I'm not... I mean, fuck, what can you say? Yeah. I mean, anymore, what can you say and be politically correct? I don't know. I didn't get it. I enjoyed the Finn and Rose subplot. I the first time I watched it, I literally almost died because I thought Finn was honestly going to kill himself.
Yeah.
So I appreciated their narrative and the way they kind of wrap things up on the salt fields of Crate and whatnot. I mean, I totally enjoyed it, but come to find out, that was like a major problem for a lot of people that hated TLJ.
See, that's so crazy to me.
They could not stand Rose and Finn.
Yeah, like that scene when, like, on Crate, when he is going towards that, I can't remember what it's called, but essentially like the big ass doorbuster. Like, I was on the edge of my seat. Like, I was like, holy shit, is this gonna fucking happen? And then when she comes in and hits it, like, the way that scene is shot is fantastic.
I'll never forget it, because I was in Vegas and I was sitting in my seat ready to almost vomit. Because I was going, are they honestly gonna do this?
Yeah, I mean, like, it
after, dude, you gotta remember, this is after everything. I mean, dude, this is after we already saw fucking Snoke got wiped out.
Yeah.
Rey's parents were just cast aside. Fucking Luke was basically almost pieced.
Yeah.
And then they do this, and it honestly looks like Finn's gonna fucking die.
Yeah, like I was
going, oh my god, this guy is crazy. All the shit he's done in this movie, this is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But this is crazy. I mean, it was so real. I mean, I was ready to start fucking bawling.
Yeah, dude. But like that moment and what it did for Finn's character is like immeasurable to his mindset and like the state of mind that he is going to be in now in episode 9. Like, going into 8, you have to remember in the beginning of that movie, he was like, he didn't see himself in the same light that the outsiders did as a hero of the resistance. He looked at himself.
He was ready to run away. I mean, he just wanted to peace out.
He's like, look, I did what I had to do for my friend Rey, and look where it got me.
He just wanted to find her. I mean, he didn't care about the fucking resistance.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't care about the resistance or the First Order. I mean, even going back to TFA, the dude was ready to bounce at Maz's castle. Like, he was walking on that fucking ship with those other guys, smugglers, scoundrels, whatever they were. Like, he was about to go.
You know what? I mean, honestly, and one of my good buddies subscribes to this, but there's a big faction out there that is pissed that Finn's supposed force powers haven't been further investigated, and I've just always been like, nah.
I mean, what is I haven't, like, I don't troll the Reddit boards and stuff a lot. But
my guy's biggest argument was during the
Kylo fight?
Well, one, that he broke the conditioning.
Yeah.
And two, during the First Order mega laser attack, that Finn heard people screaming from across the universe. I'm like, no, dude, those were people on at Maz's castle, essentially.
Yeah, dude.
Yelling, and then he just looks up. And I think we finally convinced him. But, I mean, there is a large contingent of fans that think Finn should be force sensitive at this point.
I mean...
And I think it's just because he held a lightsaber.
Yeah, I mean... Also, he's not the first person to hold a lightsaber that has no force abilities at all. I mean, Han Solo cut open a fucking,
Sabine?
Yeah, like...
Sabine has one of the most
Dark
fabled
saber.
of all lightsabers.
Yep.
I mean, it could be, honestly, I'd say outside of Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker Jedi, it's probably one of the most iconic lightsabers out there.
It looks so cool when she swings it.
It's fucking badass.
Like,
I mean, it looks like none other lightsaber. It's black with a white glow.
Yep.
And it's more shaped like a katana blade than a just true lightsaber beam.
Yeah, I mean, it looks so cool. I mean, the only thing that even comes close...
But it's still a lightsaber of sorts, mostly.
I mean, the only thing that comes close to it is if you ever played Force Unleashed, one of the crystals you could get was like a black dark saber crystal.
Right, it glows the same. Yeah, it has that. It's almost like a black hole glow where you have that dark inner color and the white shine haze.
But yeah, people are still attached to like that initial, introduction to Finn pre-release of TFA when they showed him holding a lightsaber. They thought that he was the Jedi.
I'm looking at the poster right now. The motherfucker's holding a lightsaber.
Yeah.
I mean, Rey's holding her staff. Kylo has his blade up, so it looks like Rey's holding Maul's staff, but she's still holding the staff. But it's fucking Finn with the blue saber.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm telling you, there is a movement out there where people are pissed that, why isn't Finn's force powers have been explored? I'm just going.
It's like, wait, man, hold on. I mean, like maybe they will cover the conditioning, like maybe they will go over like how he broke it, or maybe who the fuck knows? Maybe in 9 more First Order troopers will bust out of it. Like they'll be able to break this conditioning and find out that, hey, this. It's not as like heavy as it was, you thought it was, but
yeah, I think Nick just broke some news here.
Yeah, I just dropped a little piece on you that,
Yeah, just run it. I mean, this is breaking news. This is what we're going to call it.
Yes, so breaking news dropped a little bit earlier today, but Dominic Moynihan, you guys know him as Pippin from
I love this guy.
Lord of the Rings.
Anyone that is a true geek that's been alive, I'd say since 1990, you've got to know this guy.
Yeah. I mean, he was in Lost. He was in Lord of the Rings. I mean, you know him. You know him. He is going to be in Episode 9. He's cast in Episode 9. No name on his character yet, but you will see Pippin and
I think,
Star Wars.
if this is real, this is great because
from Deadline, I got the
I mean, I know he's mostly been 2-bit outside of Lord of the Rings playing Merry. But I've always loved this dude. I mean, in Lost, and then he was in, what the other show was it? It was another show that got unfairly canceled. The Event. The Event. It was fantastic, but it was one that just, I think it was too sci-fi for mainstream, so it got wiped. But
yeah, that'll happen.
He hasn't popped up in a while, so I mean, I'm all about this.
Yeah, I mean, like adding another, recognizable face, especially from the geekosphere. I mean, like we were just saying, this guy has,
Well, he's part of the JJ sphere, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, Lost,
and that's what Hollywood is, man. I mean, I was just watching some of the featurettes for Deadpool 2, where David Leitch was a director, and this guy again, I mean, his journey to me is very near and dear to what my own buddy is doing right now, where this guy started as a stunt dude and then now has eventually made it to directing, you know, Wick movies and Deadpool 2, and my own guy is kind of on a similar path. So, I mean, it's a very interesting story.
Yeah, so it's good to see that, like, you know, directors, especially to the caliber of J.J. Abrams,
they stick with those they know, and it's, you know, it really is, dude. Hollywood is a fraternity, and especially in the stunt world. I mean, the fact that they create their own team names, like David Leitch's team is 8711. My boy's team is Action Factory. Like, out there, literally, stunt groups have teams.
Yeah, almost like fucking gyms or something like that.
Gangs.
Like
I mean, dude, it's gangs. I mean, to me, the stunt industry, especially, even over acting, is kind of like the mafia. I'm being dead serious, because, you know, if your gang does well, your gang's gonna do well.
Yeah.
They're gonna get the jobs. You know, like my boy right now is working on Infinity War. Or, I'm sorry, Avengers 4.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's like, dude, I know everything.
That's the highest profile gig you can have right now.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he literally said, I know the entire plot.
I mean, in a way, that's fucking awesome, but then, like, do you think that fucks up your viewing experience?
I don't want to know it, and I know he wasn't going to tell me, because, I mean, he's had to sign stacks of NDAs, and I mean, I've been doing EB for 8 years, and he's been excelling in Hollywood for just that long, and I've never sold him out. So, but it's just funny to know that I literally have access to that type of information.
Yeah, I mean, do you?
And I can't do shit with it.
So, do you think that having a job like that makes, like, if he goes to watch, you know, Avengers 4 at the movie theater, do you think it's just, like, not as cool because he already knows it's gonna happen?
Dude, that's a great question, and you would have to think that all these people, especially at that level involved, by the time it hits theaters, are just so glad that it's done. Because they've probably watched that cut well over 100 times, if not 200, 300 times.
Yeah, it's just like they're doing, especially like the director, like the editors. I can't imagine that an editor watches a movie.
Dude, anyone that has done anything before that has involved video and cutting video together, I mean, you know that you could just be stuck in that editing process for years if you were allowed to.
Yeah. Like, you would pick apart every little thing.
So, I mean, these motherfuckers have seen it so many times. I don't know. I mean, I think for them at that point, it's probably more excitement just seeing how other people react to it.
Yeah, like you're almost people watching instead of watching.
Oh, yeah. I don't think they're really watching the movie. I think they're watching how people watch it.
Yeah. So, it's just funny, you know, to think about that. But yeah, I mean, fucking got way off track here. But yeah, like we were saying, fucking, you know, breaking news: Dominic Monaghan. This came in about, I don't know, it came in like midday today. But you know, Matt and I are both regular working men, so caught a little late. But like, this is big news. So I mean, now if we think about the JJ contingent in this movie, you have Kerry Russell, you have Greg Grunberg, you have Dominic Monaghan, and then, I mean, you know, who else? I wonder if we're going to get anybody else that is like a JJ kind of holdover from these.
Dude, I don't know, but at this point, I'm all behind the rumors of this being turned into 2 movies.
I mean, I would definitely fucking go after that. Like, if this is the one, if this is really the last one, this is the final fucking hurrah for...
Well, I mean, think about some of the stakes. I mean, just the fact that Carrie Fisher died. I mean, that's excuse enough alone to where you would need to be like, all right, we need to just kind of fucking rework this completely.
Yeah, like, take a movie to process that and then take a movie to process your ending, essentially. Like, you know...
Well, yeah, because in the end, I mean, they said they're going to try to reuse some stuff, but I sent Nick a comic strip this week where they kind of poke fun at that because I mean, and Nick and I have wondered this too. But I mean, how much footage can they honestly have from The Force Awakens that's going to apply to the narrative in 9? I mean, it's hard to believe.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about that, it has to be like the most one-off. Not
well, I mean, the whole point of that comic strip, I mean, they're just basically making fun of that. They're going to grab Fisher, essentially being Fisher, in between takes, just having random conversation.
This order is not right.
That somehow meshes with the dialogue.
Yeah, I mean, just sitting next to Gary on like a director's chair and shit. I mean, yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. But I still think even with this footage, with this cut footage, I think you were dead on when you said, right when we were kind of theorizing how they would get over it, if she's going to be in it outside of the crawl, she has to die within the first 15 minutes.
It's got to be a first act self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
At this point. And I know that's still not what it was meant to be, but I mean, it has to be.
Yeah, there's no way it would take, quite a feat of editing to move into the second act with Leia still in there. So I'm really curious to see where that's going to go. Talking about other rumors and stuff like that around Episode 9, we're going to move into some other rumors around villains, popular Star Wars villains, possibly the most popular Star Wars villains.
Well, yeah, and as you brought up, and I think, we've talked about this, and I do believe it was mentioned in the first TFA art book, but the whole thought out there that Kylo's going to have some sort of interaction with Anakin / Vader is getting, a new resurgence for 9.
Yeah, so obviously, like we were saying, Episode 9 is in full swing, and now we have set pics, we have all these things, new confirmed casting, so obviously the rumor mill is working at fucking high speed here, and one of these rumors is that exact thing is going to happen. There will be a Force connection, a Force moment between Kylo and his grandfather in both the Vader form and the Anakin Skywalker form, a.k.a. Hayden Christensen form. So this is kind of like the new hot rumor out there. And I think, I mean, Matt, I kind of told you a little bit offline, but like, I think that this has to happen. The character of Kylo Ren is built around his obsession with his grandfather and his lineage and wanting to live up to that name. And in a way, he's already surpassed it, but I'm sure in his own mind, he is still attached to his grandfather. So having that moment...
Yeah, I mean, I just think the fact that he could not get Rey to bend to his will was enough to make him still feel like a loser.
Yeah, and I mean...
That's just the type of guy Kylo is.
Yeah, he will always find fault in himself. Like, he'll never think that he's reached... that he's good enough or that he's reached a level.
He's the type of guy that always needs like reassurance that hey buddy, you're doing okay.
Yeah, and I mean now that Snoke is gone, Snoke was playing two roles for him. He's playing the person that pushes him, but also the person that would feed his ego.
Oh yeah, that strokes his ego.
So now that he's on his own, he's going to have a bunch of peons telling him that, oh, you're the greatest and all this stuff. But, like, deep down, he will know his own failures.
So, I mean, essentially what this piece is saying is that there's going to be a scene where he somehow sees a quasi-Anakin Vader
split
ghost figure.
Yeah, almost like a split right down the middle where it's like, it's almost like you would see an apparition of just the face and half the face is the Vader mask.
I mean, dude, what do you think about that?
I mean, like, if you're going to do it, I would rather see it.
Do you like that?
No. I mean, like, I would rather see it done in two different ways. I would rather...
Like, one-on-one, if anything?
I would rather him, like, have a moment where he is he is talking to Vader proper, but then Anakin, like, overpowers that. And
like the true angel and devil on your shoulder.
Exactly, yeah. Like, that's the moment that he needs.
Exactly.
Not just...
I mean, I think the split shit's like...
It's weird. Yeah, like especially if it's not interactive. Like,
well, I mean, think of it from this way, because if they honestly do a split, they're essentially saying that the personas of Anakin and Vader never truly were able to separate themselves. Where I believe they were, because in the end, I think that was Anakin that died and not Darth Vader. I mean, Darth Vader died when he threw fucking Palp over the ledge.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
And then Anakin died after.
Yeah, Anakin was the one who talked to Luke.
Like, Anakin actually returned, and it was verified with the ghost arrival at the end of the Ewok celebration.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, maybe there are still lingering, force, lingering within the force is still that energy and that life force from Vader.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's like, it's way easier to buy that a Vader could pop up and an Anakin could pop up.
Yeah, but like this duality that they're still trying to show between these two characters, I think you're right. Like that has been kind of quashed. So
to me, it's. But that's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that was over. Luke. That was Luke's achievement. Luke created that division again.
Yeah, exactly. Like he broke his father out.
He allowed for Anakin to die as Anakin.
Yeah, and I mean once he found out that in episode 6, once he knew that he was going to that compound on Endor, like he went in full bore, like Darth Vader does not exist. I know my father is there, and like he never let go of him.
Yeah, I mean that's why Luke is better than his dad.
Yeah, he was able to see the darkness.
He was able to figure that shit out. Like he was not misdirected by nonsense.
Yeah,
like bullshit. And that's why the fucking prequels still piss me off. I mean, what the fuck are we gonna talk about? Like, I mean, the most powerful Force user of all time was distracted by bullshit.
by his his dying wife. I mean, that was the thing that pushed him over the edge. But I mean,
she wasn't even fucking dying.
Yeah, no.
He was fucking dumb idiot bullshit stupid face. Fuck. There's so many other things I want to say, but you can't say them anymore.
I mean, it's just unfortunate the way that all went down. I mean, we've talked about it a ton before.
Oh my God.
But and this probably, if you think about it, okay, so
I don't want to think about it. I fucking hate it.
Well, not even the prequels, but just think about how Jedi training went in the old days compared to Luke's Jedi training.
Luke did bullshit Jedi training.
I know.
Like, let's get real here. I mean, who the fuck is anyone kidding that Luke trained as a Jedi? Luke did some fucking half-ass Cliff Notes bullshit.
But okay, so think about it. The way that I'm thinking about it is when you take children the way that the Galactic Republic did in the prequel era, and the only thing that they ever focus on for their entire life is the Jedi way. They have no context to how external relationships should be handled. So, like,
we're right. I mean, dude, the Jedi Order sucked.
Yeah. So when Anakin found himself in a situation like that, he had never had any kind of interpersonal relationships.
That's why he was way smarter than all of them, and he knew it.
Yeah.
But they were too fucking dumb and old school, just like most people of power are, in even real life. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean...
They had this young, different approach to their way of life, and they were like, no, it's not traditional. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
And then,
fuck you. And he's like, okay, well, fuck you.
The reason...
And they fucked them all.
I think the reason that Luke was able to break that kind of, that division, that draw to the dark side is because he had lived life to a certain point to where...
Dude, he was fucking 8-ass teen before he even started to pretend he knew what the fucking Force was.
Exactly. So he had lived a life where
these motherfuckers were bitching about his dad being 10.
Yeah. I mean... So that time away from the Jedi way and the Force trainings and then the essentially the brainwashing gave him further context into just human nature as a whole, that other people are the nature of beings as a whole that younger Jedi never had.
He was like his father. He was able to develop the emotions of compassion empathy, love, all things that, you know, Jedi aren't supposed to have.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really cool to see, and I'm really interested to see now how this plays out for Rey. I mean, Rey is another one who got into this stuff later.
She was just like Luke.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. We still don't have great context into how old Kylo was when he first started his Jedi training. We know that he was probably older than traditional, you know, Old Republic Jedis, you know, when they were, you know, 4 or 5 years old.
This is like asshole pulling straight out of shit, but I think he was at 10.
10?
Just like Grandpa.
Yeah, see, like, I thought it was, like, between 10 and 12 is when he actually started, like, when Leia and Han actually sent him to Luke to, like, go do his training.
Yeah, I do believe it was about 10.
So, but that is, again, like, if you look at Old Republic Jedi and Old Republic Sith, they both dealt in absolutes, regardless of what Obi-Wan may have said. But, like, with these new, you know, Jedi and Darkside type characters where they had time to develop, you know, outside of their fucking toddler ages, like, they struggle with emotion, like, you know, like the old, you know, Force users didn't do. They never had that problem because they never developed emotions outside of a Force-sensitive training area. So that's what makes the characters of Anakin and Rey and Luke and, you know, and Kylo intriguing, is because they are not only incredibly powerful Force users, but they also have incredibly strong emotions that dictate their actions sometimes. So, I mean, that's, you know, fantastic. Really.
Well, I mean, dude, I think you make a great point, because if you look at it, Kylo was way younger when he tapped into his powers, and look what happened to him.
Yeah.
AKA Anakin. And then you have Rey, who was right around Luke's age, who tapped into hers, and look what the path she's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it seems...
So it almost is as if both the Sith and Jedi were dumb as fuck when it came to what age they should recruit their, you know, their new forces.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, the older, it seems like the older
yeah,
you
the
are,
older, it's like the
more stability that you have within.
Exactly.
I mean,
they're more emotionally equipped to deal with the mental challenges of being someone that can use the Force.
Yeah, I mean, and we even saw that when you compare Anakin to Obi-Wan, like, he realized in situations, especially if you watch the Clone Wars TV series, where, you know, typical morality outside of a Force user's context would tell you, like, we need to do something here. Like, the episodes where by Jedi code, you know, Anakin and Obi-Wan should not intervene in this, you know, this village that's being attacked by bounty hunters or by, you know, smugglers. Like, they should not do anything because it's not a matter of state, you know, importance or galactic conflict. But having a moral center that was outside of the Jedi way, which is kind of what Obi-Wan was always focused on, because that's what he was raised in, Anakin was able to see that from a human perspective and say, like, look, I know there's a Jedi way, but, like, there is a morality that's in place that we need to, like, intervene here. If we can do something, we should. And, you know, like you said, the younger you are when you're indoctrinated into these two factions, like, the less possibility there is for you to see things that way.
I mean, it's an interesting point that I think you brought up. I mean, it's just kind of, it's a counterpoint to the whole philosophy behind both of the sides of the Force, where the younger the better, where it honestly, at least in the live action movies, has been presented that the older the better.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how it's shown to be. And I mean, just like look at, I mean, and that mirrors itself in fucking, you know, everyday life and in the real world too. I mean, people try to market shit to kids. I mean, when you raise your children, if you're a fan of fucking Star Wars, you try to expose Star Wars to them at a very early age, because you know that, you know, at that time, if you expose it to them early, they're more likely to be attached to it in their older age.
Dude, my kid is ridiculous already, and it has nothing to do with me. That's the crazy part. I mean, I still can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
My kid is like as deep as knowing IG-88 and Bosk and fucking random bounty hunters.
Modal nodes. Nobody knows the modal nodes.
Motherfucker. You're exactly right. I mean, get the fuck out of here.
Like, that is some... I mean, she got it through straight osmosis, though. Like,
dude,
like
it's not me. It's my wife. There's fucking books, dude.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't have a chance.
Like there's Star Wars ABCs that literally just list characters, and you know she just points at it and be like, name it. And she'll be like, Queen Amidala, IG-88. Yeah, modal notes. I'm like, what the fuck,
dude? I mean, like
she knows Hammerhead's real name. I don't even know it.
Oh God, I don't know that either. Holy shit, dude! She didn't have a chance. She was gonna be a Jedi from birth. Like, that shit was just gonna happen. So.
Why? No, I mean, but in the end, I thought it would be me. And honestly, I think she associates it more with her mother, and that's the funny part.
That's like the best gift that your wife could have given to you, is to turn your child into a Star Wars, lunatic.
Yeah, it is. It's funny. I mean. Her knowledge is strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking crazy. I mean, we really derailed here, but all of this was stemming from this idea that there's going to be a scene, or this rumor that there's going to be a scene in episode 9 that's going to include both Vader and Anakin in some way. And I think both of us are on the same page that this kind of split face idea that's floating around right now is definitely not the best way to do it. Like, it needs to be very clear that Anakin and Vader are two different
Yeah, I mean,
people.
Speaking of which, I believe Hayden has a movie coming out. I don't know if it's direct to DVD or not, but I know for a fact I saw something pop up on Twitter this week where Homeboy's got a movie coming out.
Let's see. Let's take a look. I mean, I'm glad that he's coming back into the Hollywood fold, because let's see, 2018, there's one called Little Italy.
Yeah, that's it.
And then The Last Man is in post-production.
It's Little Italy. It's supposed to be like a comedy.
Let's see. Looking at the IMDb. Oh, yeah, it definitely looks like a comedy. Him and Emma Roberts. Wow, he's the lead, too.
Right.
Emma Roberts, Alyssa Milano. That's probably the only people. Adam Ferrara.
When does it drop? I mean, is it next week?
I think it's already out. September 21st. Yeah, September 21st.
Okay, so a few weeks.
Yeah, so like 3 weeks from now. But yeah, I mean, like,
that's big time. I mean, Homeboy, he hadn't been in a movie in forever.
Yeah, I mean, like, he had done, if you look through his IMDb, literally, like, 2017, he did a very small, like, low-budget thing, and then it goes back 2015, 2014, 2010, and then that was it until Star Wars. Well, like, okay, wait, 2010, 2008 was Jumper. Jumper was the last big thing that he did.
Oh, yeah. And
then that was it.
They took a long break.
Yeah, so,
And I wonder how much he got paid for Star Wars. I mean, because he took a long break.
I imagine him being he was the lead. So he had to get a pretty...
Yeah, but he was still a nobody when they hired him. So, I mean, what could he really demand? I mean, he's not Tom Cruise. He's not demanding $20 million.
I mean, but if you think about it, though, like, if by that logic, your highest paid actor would probably be Obi, then it would be Ewan. It would have to be. In terms of, like, their... Or Ian McDermott, playing Palpatine. But, like, other than that, like,
I don't think he made as much as we probably think he made.
Being that he was so young, and then, like, the way that he seems like he's a pretty private kind of person. Like, he doesn't seem like he's a big partier. And, like, even in the Star Wars days, you never heard about, like, him going out and making a fool of himself in public, or, like, being addicted to drugs or anything like that. So even if it wasn't, like, an obscene amount of money, like Tom Cruise level, he probably was able to hold on to it.
Yeah, you would hope. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I mean, I hope he made as much as he could. This is a guy that didn't really have a huge career, that this comes around and you're going like, I'll sign whatever. And then you read it and it's like, oh, you're going to make 150,000.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I'm in Star Wars.
Yeah,
Woo!
Star Wars. I mean, can't go wrong. I'm set.
Yeah.
And then at the end he goes, fuck.
Yeah.
They're the prequels.
Dude, this is the Star Wars effect here. It's so funny because, like, I'm looking at his IMDb page right now. He's in the top 5,000 searched actors on the whole site. Like, let me see what number he is, if it lists his number. Like, you got to be like a premium IMDb Pro member or whatever. But like he is,
dude. Again, I mean, no problem with the guy.
Nope. No. Yeah. I mean,
I thought he had a great look. I mean, I buy the Anakin. I got a goddamn doll that looks just like the motherfucker in my house. I paid over $200 for it.
Yeah, and it's a pretty dope looking figure too. I've seen the pictures.
I love it. Yeah. It's fantastic. I mean, it's a beautiful fucking figure.
Yeah.
If you can say that about a man.
But yeah, dude.
But I mean,
I hope he does come
who
back.
knows? I mean, I guarantee he got jobbed.
Oh yeah. I mean, like he didn't make, 10 million or whatever.
No,
like he probably should have.
I think he's lucky if he made $1 million or $2 million at most. At most.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like I hope he comes back. And like we've said this a lot. Like even around Rogue One time, we were talking when it was first rumored that Vader was going to be in that movie, and he wasn't. We were both like, "Hey, man, let fucking Hayden play Vader in the suit or something." Like, I'm definitely not in the contingent of people who think that Hayden Christensen should be removed and stricken from Star Wars in any way.
No, not at all. I honestly, like I said, he was just delivered a fucking bogus script, man, just like everyone else. I mean, there is one moment in Attack of the Clones that is just probably the signature, okay, I could see how this Anakin guy could become this Vader guy. And it's when he is in the motherfucking Skywalker shed being all pissy about Obi-Wan and Sand People. I mean, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's Hayden.
Yeah, that was probably his, like you said, like his signature performance.
That's it. I mean, dude, challenge me.
I mean,
that is the best moment where you can see that this guy
is Vader. Will become Vader.
Could be a Vader type.
Yeah.
And you don't get that again.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's my whole fucking problem, man. That you needed more of that shit. You needed that fucking evil to come out.
And the thing is like he has the physicality to do it. Like we saw the physicality.
He nailed it, dude.
Like,
I mean, he nailed it. Like I said, he nailed it. That scene was fucking beautiful. I mean, that was like I'll never forget it. It's still the only reason I even watch Attack of the Clones is for that one scene.
Yeah, and
I hate them. I mean, right there, you can be like, yes.
Yeah.
That okay? Yes, I can see that. I can see that motherfucking helmeted dude.
You could say, I mean, like you could see it in his face too, like his face, his eyes. Like he really,
he's like, he really I fucking hate them. I mean, the passion behind it. I mean, he's like, you can tell he loves slaughtering them all.
Yeah, it was, man, just a lot of missed fucking opportunities.
That's fucking Darth Vader. I mean, people get me.
Yeah.
Don't think I'm just a hater. I have legitimate critiques on this shit.
Yeah.
I want to love it as much as the rest of you. I still watch it. But I'm telling you, Revenge of the Sith is the worst because of how it handles the transition.
Yeah, I mean, like you can't deny that fucking ball drop. Like
that entire movie, you don't get any of those Attack of the Clone moments. The entire fucking movie,
it's just,
you don't get any of them. He goes from being okay, I figured it out. Finally, this dude is a goddamn Sith Lord. To, all right, fuck it.
Okay, see, like there was one scene
like,
in episode 3 that I liked, and it was when he was talking to Yoda, and it was just him and Yoda, in some room, and he's talking to Yoda about like he tells him like essentially like what do I do? Like this is how I feel. This is where I'm at. What am I supposed to do? And when Yoda tells him like you have to let go of everything that you love, and you can see like he just you can see in his face that he can't accept that.
Oh, of course. Because he's a weak-ass bitch.
Yeah.
But we never get that hint of Vader. That's my point.
Yeah.
We only get that once in fucking Attack of the Shit fucking Clones. The shittiest fucking movie of all time. I mean, everyone out there is on drugs if they don't think Attack of the Clones is the worst fucking Star Wars movie ever made.
Yeah. It's hands down. Like,
it is a disaster.
If you say, I mean, like, if there are people out there who legitimately say that Solo was worse than Attack of the Clones, like, you just need to leave.
You.
Like, you just need to get off of this fucking planet.
Fuck you.
Not even close. Not even close. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But
fuck you.
Anyway, all right, we got some, a lot of stories left to roll through. So we gotta move here. So all right, next one up is talking about another iconic Star Wars villain, except it's not a Star Wars villain from the movies. So
and who knows if this is even going to be true or not?
Yeah.
But
I mean, well, essentially, it's already not true. This has come out saying not true. There was a rumor out here that Richard E. Grant, one of the casting announcements that was put out with the initial list from Disney and Lucasfilm, that he would be playing Grand Admiral Thrawn in Episode 9. So that is shot down. Not playing Grand Admiral Thrawn. But, I mean, if you look at Richard E. Grant and you look at mock-ups of Thrawn, even from...
Oh, dude, I mean, I get it 100%.
Yeah, I mean, he could definitely pull off a Thrawn look. And, I mean, like, I would love to see him in a movie. I mean, obviously he played a huge...
honestly... Based on Rebels, it doesn't match up anymore.
I was gonna say, like, the end of Rebels that's thrown out the
window. There's some pretty fucking major shit that needs resolved with the end of Rebels. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah. So
I think like most fans, none of us believe that either one of those dudes are just dead.
Yeah, I mean, they basically. Even Disney had kind of, hinted, I don't want to say hinted, but like led people to believe, through Sabine saying that, Ezra is still out there. And, that goes along to say that Thrawn would as well. So, I mean, I don't think the character's dead, but I don't think this is the place to bring him in either. I'm not sure how you would resurrect Thrawn at this moment, or not resurrect, but like bring him back into the fold. But I think it would have to be linked with Ezra in some way.
Nah.
It's definitely not. It's definitely not 9.
No.
Like 9's not the way to do it.
No.
Because it has to be in the to me, it still has to be in the context.
But I mean, dude, I think you'd agree with me. We're both fucking. Bring on the fucking standalones left and right. Smack me left and right. I don't care if they make 300 or 400 million. That's it. You're still gonna make money.
Oh yeah.
I don't care. But that's ruined now. That's done.
Yeah, I mean we're
all because of this fucking hate movement in this country. It's over. I mean that shit's done.
Yeah, I mean a standalone movie around Phoenix Squadron looking for Ezra would be fantastic. But it's just never gonna happen.
Come on, you can do a fucking trilogy. Yeah. Jesus, I mean.
Yeah,
give me a break. There's so much material that it's all been scared away now.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen, but
and it's still happening. I mean, I was on Instagram today reading a post like, Ryan Johnson spotted and said Episode 9. Oh my god, blah, 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 blah. And I just started reading the comments, and I was just like, oh my god, okay, unfollow you. I hate you first off for even posting it, and then inviting the comments. And if I felt like it, I wish I would have taken all the time to reply to all the commenters and be like, fuck you.
Just like in as clear wording as you could put. But yeah, I mean, Richard E. Grant's character is not known yet. I think, I mean, like, here's the thing is, like, he has the look of a first order guy, like just him.
He looks like a scumbag.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he could, like, if Ben Mendelsohn didn't play Krennic, he looked like he would be a perfect Krennic.
Like, exactly.
Like
dude, you nailed it. I mean, he looks like a spot on scuzzball.
Yeah, I mean, the perfect type of dude to play like a high ranking first order / Imperial officer. Like I mean, so he's probably going to end up playing some type of role that is dark side leaning, but he's probably, 100% not playing Thrawn. I mean, and this was confirmed by Grant himself. This was during an interview with Radio Times, which was a British news organization. He says, "I'm not playing the Star Wars character you just mentioned," when they said Thrawn. So, like, I'm not allowed to, and then he says, "I'm not allowed to tell you anything, otherwise I'd be fired. It's a complete lockdown on any information whatsoever." So he can't say anything other than it's not Thrawn. So for all of you people out there who've been making Photoshop mock-ups of Richard E. Grant as Thrawn, they look pretty cool sometimes, but it's not happening. Sorry, guys. So next piece, until we got one more piece to get into, and then we're going to hit set picks. And that is the filming window for episode 9, which you talked a little bit about, Matt, in the beginning. And this is kind of what we talked about, pre-finding out when filming was going to start, and, kind of worried about the timeline here. So according to this rumor, again, it's another rumor, it's not anything confirmed, but according to Omega Underground, they have heard that filming is going to wrap up in February. So like, what do you think about that? First off, filming from August to February.
Well, I mean, I think the timeline matches up at least with what was done with TLJ. What concerns me more is the fact that they need to now post-edit this bitch and more than likely 90% chance do reshoots.
In essentially 9 months.
Yeah, in less than a year.
Yeah, I mean, because you're figuring, now we know with Solo, they can still be doing edits.
They're either just saying technology has just gotten to the point where you dummies still think you're watching The Lord of the Rings behind the scenes where it takes 3 fucking years to do post.
Yeah. They're like, we can wrap this shit up in 8 months. Be ready to go.
Or they're going to be scrambling because I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it is so hard to wrap your mind around that like a movie finishes filming in February and a movie that is going to be
the prequels took 3 years per.
Oh yeah. And I mean, like, this was all, if you've seen the behind the scenes footage of the
and we've been down to 2 years per in this cycle, so I mean it's nothing new, but every other film has had a little bit more time than this.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about the final chapter of this saga being wrapped up and done in post-production in a matter of months.
Dude, I 100% want 2 movies.
I do too, man. Like, I don't, are you going to call it episode 10? Who the fuck knows? But, like, give me another one. You got a lot of ground to cover.
I know there's a little bit of a movement, and again, I'm a TLJ lover. Like, there's no bullshit here. I'm not blowing smoke. I've loved it since the first time I've seen it. But I'm still all behind seeing a lot of other things filled in that I know JJ had intentions for.
Yeah. I mean,
and if that takes 4+ hours, so fucking be it.
Let it happen. Like,
so be it, Disney. You're already canon shit. I mean, why not roll this? Roll it to 4. Who gives a fuck?
What I don't want to happen.
Peter Jackson turned The Hobbit into fucking
3 movies,
like 8 movies.
Yeah, and it was like a 200-page book. But here's what I don't want to happen with this film. I don't want this to be like a BVS. Now, not in terms of quality, but I don't want it to be a BVS where everybody says, like, you have to see the director's cut to really enjoy it. And I know that
fuck off.
Like, I know that Disney, well, first off, Disney never releases director's cuts of anything. So, like, the fact that I'm even postulating that a director's cut for Star Wars would exist, is probably wrong. But I don't want to feel like that there was shit left out. like for Harry Potter.
Right.
Like for Harry Potter 7, even though they split it, I still felt like, man, you missed a lot of ground. Like there was a lot of shit in there.
Yeah, that's something I'm glad I never read.
Yeah.
So I just always just accepted the movie as fact.
Yeah. So, but that's the one thing that I'm so afraid about for this final act is, like you said, there's a lot of threads out there that still need to be tied together. And I don't know if it can happen in one movie. So that's why, like, last week when we were talking, like, I put it out there, or it might have been, no, I don't think it was last week, it was the week before. Like, I said that putting this into 2 would make the most sense. Giving JJ the opportunity to wrap up all of his threads that he started and the ones that Ryan started that weren't wrapped up in 8. I mean, like, regardless of what you think about 8, like, those plot threads still need to be resolved, and you only have one movie to do this. So, I mean, theoretically, you only have one movie to do this. So, I mean, it's distressing to think that we're at this point where, like, you have the entirety of, 1 through 9 now that has to be put in this tight, wrapped up little box in one film.
But it's also been rumored that JJ wants to tie everything together.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I mean, the fucking cartoons, the prequels, the OTs.
And that is such a fucking hard thing to do. Like, I mean, the cartoons in particular, like, outside of...
I mean, who's he going to float in from the fucking cartoons?
I mean, with
Sabine?
Yeah, I mean, that's the hard part.
I mean, Ezra, I mean...
The hard part is Rebels, because Rebels, you don't have a lot of crossover into the films already. I mean, with Clone Wars, your 2 primary characters are already, wrapped into the movie universe, so you don't have to worry about that. Other than, like, if you want to... if you wanted to do something around, the chosen one theory that was presented in the Clone Wars stories, in the Clone Wars TV shows, where there is an actual chosen one that is a balancing factor within the Force. But, like, how do you bring Rebels in? Because you're at a point to where your only character from Rebels that was ever in a movie was Vader, or Maul too. I mean, I guess Vader, Maul, Obi-Wan, like those are your 3. So it just becomes weird if he's going to try to do that.
Well, if you count the Clone Wars, the first ever foray, it was a movie.
True, yeah. I mean, that was a movie.
So you could say Ahsoka's in there.
Yeah, Ahsoka has also been on the big screen. As well as a lot of the the named clone troopers as well. Right. So, but yeah, I mean, like, he's got a huge, and like, this is the thing, like, people always want to give J.J. Abrams shit, but like, this may be, one of the biggest pieces of nerd movie history here that needs to be, this may be one of the hardest movies to make.
It's insane. Yeah, it's insane.
So yeah, the fact that they're going to shoot till February, I mean, rumored, rumored to shoot till February and then wrap this shit up.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. I mean, I believe TLJ it needed at least 6 months. Yeah. They just started earlier and more. They didn't have going into it, kick director and a whole script rewrite.
Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting, and I mean, like, we're hopefully, for the next couple of weeks or for the next fucking couple months here, we'll keep having these good little nuggets of wisdom around episode 9 for you guys. But I know we're already getting a little long on time here, so we're going to jump right into these fucking sweet-ass set picks. So which one do you want to start with first, Matt?
Let's start with the Falcon, because I mean that's what popped up first, and we got to give them credit. This comes from the homies over at Making Star Wars. They definitely have their hooks in deep when it comes to sources, but they got some set picks from this apparent Black Park location, which is outside of Pinewood Studios over in the UK, and it really does. I mean, it kind of looks like a jungle/forest, and from the pictures themselves, it kind of sets up the fact that the Falcon's going to be in this jungly / forest type of location.
Yeah, I mean,
at some point.
You don't get a full body shot of the Falcon, but you definitely see the Falcon there. I mean, you see it's you know,
I mean, it's
very clear.
Side
exhaust
view.
port. Like it's almost like a side port. I don't know what it is. It's not the engine, but it is like a side port of the vehicle of the Falcon. And like
it's almost like a hatch.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah, something like that. And dude, I gotta say, like, I know this is not Endor, but like one picture in particular, like if you're looking at the post on eb.com, like the top right image, I could almost like see in my head an ATST coming around the corner. Like
total Endor. I mean, a total Endor feel. I mean, it's almost like they're shooting in the redwood forest in Northern California, really.
Yeah, I mean, it does have a heavy Endor feel. I mean, I don't think that. I mean, like, it would be nuts if JJ decided to go, but not only to Yavin 4, but back to Endor. Like,
people's heads would explode.
I know, dude. They would just lose it. Like, I mean, I would love it, but like, some people out there would fucking. Yeah, they would die in the theater. Like, it would just be too much.
It would be a massacre. It'd be a riot.
Yeah, but it is cool to see, you know, obviously, again, talking about Endor, we're talking about another mirroring to the original trilogy, which has been done for both movies so far. I mean, say what you...
Yeah, they have to roll back and visit Wicket, and he's like, yep.
Yeah, go back to the Ewok village. Fucking, you know, it'd be hilarious if like Billy D walks up in there, talks to the Ewoks, is like,
he's like, yo, yub nub, motherfucker.
You know, we need you guys again. Y'all ready to go? We have more white helmets to
you cool, bitch.
Wicket's
like, yub nub,
just a fucking
yub nub,
a doob in a fucking case of Colt 45, just lighten them up, man.
Yeah. That'd be the best. I mean, that would. I mean, if anyone had problems with 8, that would gloss it over right there.
Dude, I mean...
Wicket and Lando sharing a blunt.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That would be great, dude. I would watch that movie 50 times in the theater just for that scene. But no, I mean, these set pics look really... I mean, like, honestly, they're pretty detailed, and like you were saying, you get a really good feel for this type of environment that they're going to be in. And I'm really interested to see because, you know, where this goes, because the other set photo that we got too is in a similar rustic type of environment. It's almost... You could almost look at it like...
I mean, to me, I think they're way different.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
They're...
This... A lot of sites are running this as, like, a forest, and I went... I mean, no, this looks like a fucking jungle.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more of a...
You got, like, some big-ass ferns and shit. I mean, this looks like archaic, like, you know, fucking... dinosaur level
this is almost like they're looking for something lost, like you said, in a jungle. Like, are they looking for a lost temple, or are they looking for some sort of artifact that is, or maybe you know, they're using these remote planets as some sort of hideout, as, like, you know, jumping from remote system to remote system to stay out of the First Order's, you know, vision or something like that. So yeah, I mean, really fucking cool. Very clearly the Falcon. We don't see any of the cast members in this photo, but we do see the Falcon, and it is...
Nah, I mean, this is someone that got lucky and just peeped in there.
Yeah.
I bet this shit's been locked down since.
Oh, yeah. I mean... They were talking about they put up like some sort of fencing and stuff like that. There's like, you know, fencing all around this area now and stuff. So it's not surprising.
And the locals are going, hey, basically, fuck off.
Yeah, it's like, I live here, so...
Yeah, I mean, if you do this, you're just going to draw more attention to it. So.
Exactly. So the second set of set pics is... We get a little bit more. We don't just get the Falcon or anything like that. We get legit... cast members, and and you know, what looks like there's a lot of stuff to gain from these pics. So we get, you know, it looks like they're on some sort of grassy plain, and we get Poe Dameron, aka Oscar Isaac. We get John Boyega, aka Finn something, FN 2187, and then we get
just Finn.
Yeah, just Finn, and then we get a wide shot that shows, you know, Poe Finn, Naomi Aki's character, and then we also get maybe not confirmed, but and then also we get Chewbacca, and we get
two other dudes. One dude may be important because he's actually sitting on. I mean, it's clearly a horse, but they have markers on it and this shaggy hair, so they're probably going to be
CG.
Something different in the end product.
Yeah. But yeah, they're on this like what looks like a hill, like a grassy hill.
Yeah, they're looking for something.
Yeah, and it looks pretty cool, dude. And like what kind of made me say, you know, this looks like they may be working with some sort of tribal people, because the way that the character that people think is Naomi Aki is dressed, she does look like she is not like a tribal type of person. Like she's wearing, you know, tattered garb, very long hair, looks like, you know, kind of piecemeal armor, maybe wearing like a tattered cloak on her back. And it's definitely, you know, and the guy behind her again is in similar, like, you know, not.
I know, but then look at the dude on the other horse. I mean,
that's what. Yeah, I mean, that's what I think. Like, you know,
did Finn, Poe, and Chewie bring the horses, or
maybe that guy is with them. I'm not sure if they like picked this dude up somewhere.
But I mean, what the fuck do you think they're looking for?
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, that's what makes me think, like, with this one and then also this deep jungled area, are they on some sort of like artifact hunt? Like, are they looking for something?
I mean, it looks like they both have some sort of satchel or, like, you know, bag to put shit in. I mean, Poe's wearing fucking leather gloves.
Yeah, like, they're definitely, and, like, they're not dressed for, like, combat. They're dressed for, like,
I mean, dude, Poe is basically wearing Indiana Jones shit.
Dude, I was literally about to say that. Like, he looks like he's Indiana Jones.
Like, yeah, I mean, his boots are even more gnarly. I mean, they almost go up to his knees.
Yeah, so it's really interesting to see, like, these two sets of photos and the two different types of locations that they are.
And Finn's hair is definitely longer, but it's not, you know, dreadlocky.
No, it's like, you know, it wasn't shaved down like he had it.
I don't even want to say it's cornrows, but it's like they're like little mini buds, like mini bud dreads.
Yeah, he's got not even like a high top, but like it's definitely grown out since we saw him in episode 8. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's not a fro top. I mean, they're like little baby dreads.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think about it, depending on how long this movie is away from, or how far this movie is away from episode 8, I mean, in the situation that the Resistance, now possibly the Rebellion, is in, like, nobody's really got time for a haircut, you know? Like, it's not like, you know, Finn or Poe or Rey has time to just stop by the salon, tell them to give them a high and tight, and let's move on. Like, they're like, yo, we're fucking on the run here. And, like, apparently it looks like they're looking for something very important. So
I can't even begin to imagine what the fuck they're looking for.
Yeah.
I just nothing.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know yet, but man, dude, like, there's a lot of...
Well, this is why I kind of like leaks like this. I don't believe they're really spoiling much. But I think what it's going to make even more fun is when we get a trailer and potentially see a scene from these shots.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, Disney is aware of these leaks, and I wouldn't doubt that they would intentionally put some stuff from this in the trailer.
At this point, dude, I'm telling you right now, I mean, at this point, if they considered these major, they'd already be scrubbed.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that they're still popping up, then they're like, hey, whatever.
Yeah, we'll let you have this. But, yeah, dude, I definitely, like, these are two very interesting environments, very different environments, but also, in my mind, I may be thinking way too far into this, but, like, in my mind, they're both very telling.
Well, you would also think that Chewie at minimum would be with the Falcon, so...
Yeah, and if that's the case, I mean, Chewie being here with Poe and Finn,
right?
Are they now with the Falcon? Like, you know, is Rey here somewhere? Is Rey not captaining the Falcon.
I know, dude. I know, man. It's crazy. There's
a lot of shit. A lot of shit. I mean,
yeah, the Rey jacket by herself. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
are they still all on the same planet? Just it has vastly different, climates and environments.
I mean,
we've
only seen. Okay, so here's another thing: is that we've only seen Yavin 4 from the perspective of the one Massassi temple that they have used as a base. But
I could, but also even in the video games, they've kind of portrayed it as a jungle type of planet.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like if you've played the video games, specifically, Star Wars
2, I think, like traditional Battlefront
2, and then even like the MMO Star Wars: The Old Republic, like Yavin 4 was heavily featured there in the Shadow of Revan expansion, and it's a lot of jungle. And there's a lot of hidden artifacts there. I mean, there were temples that were had Sith spirits that were inhabiting them. I mean, there's a lot of cool shit on Yavin 4 that we've never seen before. So I definitely wouldn't doubt that they would explore that a little bit more and show some more of the artifacts and the temples and stuff like that are hidden within the jungle areas of Yavin. So I think that'd be really fucking cool.
I don't know, man, but it's all coming to fruition. I mean, my predictions are all coming true.
You're right.
I knew it. I just said once Principal started, the shit's just going to start flowing. And it honestly hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, this week was no different than last. It was only better, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're getting tangible set pics now, leaks,
casting, like literally on the day that we're recording this. I mean, there's a lot of shit.
Right. So I mean, it's only going to get better, and this is why we're in it. This is what we're going to keep doing. I mean, we're always going to have something to talk about, but if we obviously some episode 9 stuff pops up, that's what we're going to throw down. So. Hopefully you enjoyed our take on all of the stories that popped up this week or past week, probably by the time you're listening to this. We appreciate it, as always. It was fun. Definitely some good stuff. I mean, obviously we had 2 set leaks come out. We had the Falcon in the forest. We had Poe, Finn, Chewie chilling in some grassy plains. We had some other fantastic stories that I closed out and forget.
Yeah. I mean, Kelly Marie Tran coming back. We had
fantastic.
We had the rumors about Vader and about Thrawn, and then we also had the casting of Dominic Monaghan on here, Merry from Lord of the Rings. I kept saying Pippin, and I was wrong. It's Merry.
Yeah, he was Merry. Yeah. I said he was Merry.
Yeah, I fucked that up.
Yeah, I knew that shit. I mean, I still consider the Lord of the Rings to be probably the most well executed trilogy of all time.
Yeah, dude, I can't argue that.
From top to bottom.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
Even better than Star Wars. I mean, and that says a lot.
It's not my favorite movies. I fucking love Lord of the Rings. I mean, if I had to list my favorite, my favorite trilogies of all time, it would go OT and then Lord of the Rings. And then, I don't know, maybe Matrix. Third one's Back to the Future.
I think I'm right with you, dude, but if you want to break it down from a pure technical aspect, it's not even close.
I mean, really, though, because if you think about it, Jackson killed it, but, not only did Lucas kill it, he created everything that he was doing while he was doing it.
Yeah, I agree. I guess there's a cheat because of the source material came from a fucking genius.
Yeah, I mean, when Tolkien is your source.
I mean, Lucas is a god, but Tolkien is like a mega god.
So, but here's what Lucas he wrote everything. He thought of the story, and then he was like, I want to do this, but this isn't possible yet, so let's create the way to do it, and then do it. While I'm writing the story.
I get it. But you can also make the argument that Jackson also perfected digital characters.
He did.
Even though Lucas started it. I mean, Gollum, without a doubt, is the first perfect example of okay, you can do this.
Like, yeah, you can put a fully digital character on the screen with real actors
and sell it as a real emotional being.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're fucking close. They're really fucking close. I mean, we're not getting any.
It's always been something I've thought about. I mean, because I'm the same way. I mean, it's OT, LOTR, Matrix, but I just think from everything, story, technical, whatever, the shit he achieved with that is insane.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that will.
But as you said, I mean, Lucas invented half of Hollywood technology, so I mean, it's a hard argument.
Yeah, and then even Jackson showed that he couldn't replicate it with the Hobbit trilogy. I mean, granted, you can say he came on late for the first one, but I mean, you know, Battle of Five Armies and then Desolation of Smaug.
That's why I still love the guy, because if you watch the behind the scenes on the last movie, he pretty much admits, like, I fucking ran out of time. We just fucking winged it.
Yeah.
I mean, he pretty much says for the last two movies, they just fucking winged it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, you know, what are you supposed to do when, like, Guillermo del Toro is on the movie and then all of a sudden
everything blew up? I mean, the whole thing blew up.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're just going to blow it up unless you take it.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, I guess I'll do it. And that's why we had weird-ass looking orcs. Oh, well. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. I think we hit all our points.
Yeah, no. We cleared it out, so... As always, my friends, thanks for tuning in. If this is your first time listening, make sure, please subscribe. If it's on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Android, whatever. If you just want to get through email, I think we can even offer that up to you. We just want you to listen, please.
Listen, hit a share button if you see it on social media.
Listen and share if you like it. I mean, we're not always on point. I mean, last week, I'll be the first one to admit. Right hands up. I was out of it. Out of it. Way too much fun at happy hour. We'll leave it at that. So, but anyways, thanks for listening. Make sure to tune in next week, where hopefully we'll be talking about some new Episode 9 revelations, be it set pics, official interviews, official drops. You never know at this point. I mean, they're in full swing. They're gonna be at least shooting through February. And then we're going to be getting some post. And then it's inevitable before we get the trailer. I mean, shit, you know we're going to get the trailer at least for Star Wars Celebration in April. I mean, that's a guarantee.
Yeah, I think so.
If it's not out before that, we're definitely going to get it right then. So, anyways, stay tuned. Star Wars time. You know where to get it. On the best podcast for Star Wars fans and pop culture geeks. Search it on iTunes. It's there. Trust me. Find it. Leave a review. All right. May the Force be with you. Always.